Happy Monday evening, folks. How's it going? Welcome to Got Your Back post-game live stream edition. Oilers with a big win over the Buffalo Sabres. How about Stuart Skinner? I feel like the conversation is going to be a little different on the stream tonight than it was the other night after their loss. Some real solid goaltending from Stuart Skinner. Has to have Oiler fan feeling pretty good. We'll get to Jason Strudwick in just a moment. Reminder that Got Your Back Short Shifts brought to you by Mid-City Construction, a locally owned family company specializing in civil construction projects for over 40 years, from roadways to excavation, underground utilities, paving and concrete. They've played a massive role in the infrastructure of Edmonton and surrounding area since 1980. And by the way, if you're looking for work, they've got lots open right now. I was just checking out their page on Indeed. You can go to mid-city.ca and click on careers, or you can search them on Indeed. They got a bunch here. I'm looking at 8 or 9 jobs, all kinds of different skill sets they're looking for. Compensation looks fantastic. I've been to head office. I've met the crew. Seems like a great place to work. So check it out. That's mid-city.ca and click on careers. Okay, checking in with Jason Strudwick. Struds, how are you tonight, my man?
Great. How are you making out, buddy?
Good. It was a good night. I'm trying something different on the podcast tonight. You might not be able to tell. I'm standing.
Oh, geez.
So I've got the standing desk option in my office.
I like
and I've been, since I started a podcast, man, I've been sitting so much, and it's so hard on the back. Like my back it's constantly bothering me.
Yeah.
And so I got this standing desk and I got it all set up and everything. I've had it for like a month or so. This is the first time I'm actually going to try a standing pod. But I feel good, man. Like I can rove, I can go over here into the office, I can move around. I got the microphone will come with me. Hey, What do you think, buddy?
Nice.
We got to hook you up.
I'm really quite happy because it feels like I've been carrying you for about a year. So to get you off my back, and so you bring a little zip to this party. I can't bring the chips and dip every party. You got to bring it. You got to bring some.
You've been carrying me. I don't know about that, buddy. Actually, we should put that. We are live streaming the podcast, by the way, on YouTube and on Twitter. So we want to get you heavily involved in the stream. So send us your thoughts on the game tonight. What'd you think of Skinner? What'd you think of the Oilers overall? How about that Bukestad fella? Lots of positive things tonight in the game, and we're going to dig into that. By the way, we don't want to give away too many secrets, Struddy, but we may have a little bit of a renovation coming to the Strudwick studio as well.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes you just got to take the bully and say, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
So, I don't know, 2 months ago or so, I added the wood paneling in behind the shelving.
Right.
And it's kind of darkened it. I don't know if people like it or not. It's kind of a little more of a subtle, chill look.
Yeah, right.
A little bit of a contrast, though, as we look at our two screens here. So, down to Rona today, picked up a couple panels. And now, do you have tools if I bring these by tomorrow, or do I need to bring all my own tools as well?
What do you need? Like a hammer, stuff like that? Screwdriver?
Yeah, a screwdriver and a hammer. That'll get it done, Struts.
Yeah, you should be able to build anything with that. MacGyver did.
Do you have anything?
Tools. Yeah, I've got stuff. I got a lot. I used to do quite a bit of home renovation, not to toot my own horn, chop saw.
Really?
What do you need? Yeah.
Really?
No, I've got some. Do you need a saw or what do you need? You tell me what you need. Send me a list. I'll have it ready by tonight.
I'll probably just bring it all over just in case. I don't want to have to be running out to Home Depot because you're like, what do you mean you needed a tape measure? What's a stud finder?
I know that you're, I know. I already know you're going to bring it all. I'm not worried about it all. I just know I'm going to be here in a good mood.
We'll get her locked down. We will get her locked down. Okay, you know what? Let's get to the breakdown. And the breakdown tonight is brought to you by Horse Racing Alberta. The Alberta horse racing and breeding industry contributes over $300 million to Alberta's economy annually, and the industry employs over 5,000 hardworking Albertans. Experience some of the finest thoroughbred racing in Western Canada at Century Mile Racetrack and Casino when live thoroughbred racing returns in May. For more information, stay up to date, go to thehorses.com. Looking forward to taking some of that in the next couple of months as they get up and running in May. Okay, I'm checking out the mentions and I see Skinner, a whole bunch of Stuart Skinner here, Struddy. This was just a calm, steady performance. And, what does he end up making? 37 saves? There were some tough ones in there, too.
Buffalo has some good shooters. Like, obviously, that first power play goal, I really like that play. I love the setup from Tage Thompson, who'd rung it off the bar. Probably Skinner was thinking he's going to shoot it again. Slides it back door, and Skinner, the other Skinner there, is there to tap it in. Not tap it in. He buried that thing. So, you know what? He had to make a lot of good saves. And not to be negative Nelly, but giving up 39 shots isn't exactly ideal for the Oilers, but their goalie was up to the task. And they were able to score one more than Buffalo, obviously. But Skinner, what I like about him is, yesterday or 2 days ago, I spoke about Campbell looking small. Skinner doesn't look small. He looks big. He looks calm in there.
Yeah.
And it's the opposite. So they got to get Campbell up to that level. But for right now, I see no reason why not to continue to go down the path with Skinner.
Yeah. I said off the start that Skinner, some of the saves were really, really tough. But what I like about Skinner when he's in his zone is they're tough saves, but he doesn't make them look tough. Like some of the saves he made, he was just in such perfect position. You were like, whoa, that was a really good scoring chance. And he just made it look easy because he's big and he uses his frame and his size. He's not moving around too much. He's not flopping around. He just shifts and he's there, Struds. And that's the beauty of a bigger goalie with equipment that's a little bit bigger. When you're calm in there, you just take away space and you make it look easy. And it is not, I would imagine.
Well, I think part of it too, we got to give him credit. It's also reading the game. Craig Anderson at the other end is, we had a guy on this Gregor show say Woodley talking about how he reads the game so well, and so it seems like he's ahead of it. And you're there prior to the save need to be made, and you're squared and set prior to the shot coming. And I think that we see that from Skinner. He's still learning tendencies of different players. He hasn't seen them all, or maybe by now actually has seen them all. But getting to understand what their tendencies are, like they shoot from, where they want to shoot. So you know what? Listen, it's another good game by Skinner, and I believe he needs to play the next two on the road. And they're going to need Campbell. I keep saying that. I know people don't want to hear that out in Oilers land, but they're going to need him at some point, and I hope
you've been saying that all year. I don't disagree with you, but every time Skinner plays well, you're always like, they're going to need Campbell, everybody. They're going to need Campbell. Don't forget about Campbell.
No, if the playoffs started tomorrow, I'd be confident putting Skinner in there. Yeah. Like it just comes to a point where you play the goalie who's playing the best. Whether he's young or old or whatever. So that's how it is.
So let me ask you this. In a playoff series, this whole 1A, 1B thing, right? Teams that do this, in a playoff series, how often do we see a team change goalies mid-playoff series? Not very darn often, right? Unless there's a loss. Like, you never see a guy play 3 in a row and win, and they're like, oh, gonna go with the other guy. Load management, right?
No, never.
So, I wonder if there's a little bit of curiosity there for Jay Woodcroft, just to see, hey, let's see how this guy can handle a pretty significant workload and a bunch of starts in a row. This is the time to do it. And, they've got a little bit of separation between their games. His game is justifying it. You got to pay attention to the results. And I'm not saying you start him no matter what. But Struds, if he keeps playing well, why not just keep playing him for as long as you can until you hit that back-to-back? If his play... Yeah. Because he needs experience doing that. Because if he's going to be the playoff starter, he's going to need to know what it feels like to start a pile of games really close, NHL caliber. Why not ride him as long as he stays hot like this?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. In theory, I agree, but I'll disagree. And this is just the only reason. You do not want to go into the playoffs with maybe Campbell not feeling good about himself and a tired Skinner. That's the only thing I'd say. So, and I hear what you're saying. Yeah, the experience, I get it. Yeah. I think we might go back to the time in the AHL. I believe Jay was the coach when Skinner was there, and they had a few playoff rounds. Didn't they win COVID year? Didn't they kind of technically win it? I think Skinner was their goalie, if I remember that. But anyway, so I think Jay Woodcroft knows him. And I agree. What you're saying, I would 100% agree with, but I still want to have a fresh goalie. Even if they're both playing really well, I would still say they both, not obviously Skinner's going to play more, but you got to guard against running him into the ground. I'm
not saying you do it to finish the month out or that you do it at the start of April. I'm saying doing it now. Now's the perfect time to do it. You look at their schedule.
How many games? Yeah,
Well, now I got to turn around and look at the schedule here. So they got the Leafs.
Thursday, yeah.
Okay, they got Thursday's game. Then they got the Leafs on Saturday. Then they have 3 days rest. Then they have the Senators at home, the Stars at home. Yeah, like look at the run of games, man. They've got lots of days where they can run them. So like if you run them 4, 5, even 6 in a row, you're not pushing them crazy amounts of games in a short amount of days. So I think they have the opportunity, if his play dictates it, to test him a little bit here and see. But his play has to earn it. As long as he's earning the next start, keep him in there.
You're talking like there's some breaks in there. You're not talking Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday. Like it's a little bit different schedule. So there's right now the schedule time. It lends itself to giving him some time off because tomorrow will be an off day for everybody. I'm assuming.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Probably practice Wednesday, probably optional morning skate Thursday. Play Thursday night. Probably fly up to Toronto after that game. Maybe a skate. It depends how it goes. Maybe a light day off Friday and then morning skate Saturday. And then come home. Right. So like it's not a terrible schedule.
It's
they have
doable right now.
So now's the time, but it's not every other day. They're not playing 7 games in 14 days.
Exactly. Yeah. I think their play dictates it. Okay, let's get to the Weiss Johnson Twitter mentions and the YouTube mentions as well. Struddy, you go ahead and grab one. I'll read one here. Seeking Sand Guru has become a regular here on the stream, so we appreciate his contribution. Says, anxiety level as a fan when Skinner is playing is night and day versus Campbell. And the confidence level that he seems to carry himself within there, the confidence saves that he makes. I don't know, Struds, would I be overstating it to say that difference that Seeking Sand Guru here is talking about, that would be noticeable by his teammates as well? His teammates would get a sense of that and feel that, just the confidence that Skinner's in there with right now, they would notice that.
The players know, buddy. The players know. It's just like, they know what's going on. And so, they're not going to say, well, don't play Campbell, but they want to have a confident player in there. But you can tell any skater when they don't, any player in their team, when they're struggling with confidence, you feel bad for them, you want to help them, but everyone's very competitive. They want to win. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing you can do. So I think for now to just encourage the play of everyone, you probably have to run Skinner. Just to kind of keep it going, because the team they want to get points, right? They want to bank points, and it feels like every night everyone's winning. Like it's last night it wasn't ideal for the Oilers. The Vegas, you look at those highlights. Jonathan Quick is struggling in net for them. That one game and they won 4-3, but man, he didn't make it look easy. So I think I would run with Skinner for sure for the next few games, and then see what happens after that.
Okay, what do you got for mentions?
From Shane Matt, first thought, Bukestad 10 for 10 front face-off. Bingo. When Kane comes back, though, I think it's McLeod that comes out. I thought Shore, Derek Ryan, but McLeod is floating, 0 contact. Lets Middlestad go down the middle at one end. I think what's going to happen is that I don't think there's going to be one guy designated. The easy guy is Shore, right? He's the guy who was down most of the year, but I think he's playing pretty well. But in reality, what's going to happen is you're going to have multiple players coming out of the lineup that don't deserve it. And that's too bad. But you have to have those conversations saying, listen, Jason Strudwick, we are a valuable player on this team, but right now you're not playing. And you got to stay ready because we're going to need you. You're one injury away from being right back in this lineup. And I think that they might rotate guys out, like Shore, McLeod might be tough.
McLeod's not coming out. I'm going to stop that right in its tracks right now.
You don't think so?
Ryan McLeod is not going to be one of the guys that comes out of the lineup unless his game falls so far off. That ain't happening.
Okay. But, I mean, there's going to be, nonetheless, I believe there'll be a collection of players in a rotation probably going out. I just can't see how that wouldn't happen.
Yeah. No, I mean, McLeod's too much. He's too important, and they'll need him too much in the postseason. But Bukestad, 10 for 10 in the face-off circle, Struddy. When they made that trade, and when we were talking about Bukestad as a trade possibility, everybody rushes to the stats page to look, and they're like, oh, but he's only 47% or whatever it was, right? And fair. We wondered how much a change of scenery, some different wingers, different line mates, how much that might adjust things. And I think we're seeing some of that. Steve Tykon is back here on the live stream. We got into it a little bit the other night. He says, Yamo should have shot the puck in the net tonight. He needs to listen to you. Okay, Steve. I'll have a laugh at that one. Steve and I got a little chirpy back and forth last podcast. Boy, did Yamo ever have that one fantastic opportunity to score again tonight, but didn't end up scoring.
Yeah, and I thought he had those 2 goals and he's going to kind of get it going. They need him. They need him to finish off a few, right? Just to be a threat on those lines, just to continue to help out. So yeah, I think that's got to happen. But he does have 2 goals in his last 2 games, right? Mm-hmm. So he's starting to trend in the right direction. And if he doesn't score for the next 10 games, I think, Steve-O, we can revisit this.
HipRock74 says, Struddy, what do you make of CC's struggles? What have you thought of CC? I guess I'll ask you if you would say struggles. 22-43 he played tonight.
It's funny. I have 2 tweets I was just going to get to, and they're both related to Cody CC.
Okay.
So this is the reality of CC. CC's not paid like a top pairing defenseman, and he isn't a top pairing defenseman, but he's being placed in that role here with the Oilers.
22 minutes.
We all have to keep that in mind. Like I believe CC is a 4-4, probably a 4, right? If I line it all up on a good team, he's probably a 4. Right now, he's cast as probably a 3 because he's behind Heckelm and Nurse, right? And it does make a difference. It does make a difference. And so, at times it feels like he's trying to do too much. And, I know it's something I say oftentimes, but you're trying to feel like I got to contribute more and be more involved in making these harder plays. Where I think for him, see a play, make a play. As soon as you see a pass, make that pass. If you're not sure, bounce it off the glass. Like, I go back to the last game in Winnipeg. He's trying to make a play at the red line, ends up in a breakaway. Just throw it out. Just live to fight another day. I know that people don't, we got to tape to tape passes. I understand that. But right now, Cody Ceci is not a top level defenseman. He's good. He's an NHL defenseman, better than I was. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm just trying to say that I think he's a good NHL defenseman, but he's cast too high up the lineup. And we've seen that a lot with forwards in a number of years with the Oilers, where guys were up too high and they were unable to play at the pace, and we get frustrated with them. Right now, he's got to find a way to make the simple play, simple pass. This guy is Dean Pollard. Say, do you put him with someone else? Who? Like, I think Ekholm needs to play with Bouchard. So if you're going to take CC off of Nurse's partnership, who do you put up there? Is it Broberg? It's not Desharnais. No. Is it Kulak? Yeah. So do you and that's, so we got to be careful because it would be Bouchard.
It would be Bouchard, but you're not going to do that because you're not going to mess with the Ekholm Bouchard pairing right now.
Well, you're not, but that's why that partnership's working well. So who is that guy? So I'm going to say, and this is with all due respect to Cody Ceci, they're one right shot top defenseman away. And I know this isn't going to happen, but if it was Carlson Nurse, Ekholm Bouchard, Kulak, Ceci, now you're like, okay, everyone's slotted properly. And it's, again, this isn't a disrespect to Ceci. I think he's a good defenseman. Yeah. He's just too far up the lineup. And that's what happens.
100%. It's like when you have to host this thing, you're not in your element and it gets ugly and you start saying things like DLY vinyl products and stuff like that. Whereas when you're slotted properly, you're bang on.
Did they consider the name change or?
They're not changing their name.
They're unreasonable. I'll send them a voice text.
Let's get back to the Weiss Johnson Twitter mentions. By the way, 45 years they've been at it. Our good friends at Weiss Johnson. If you need a new furnace, garage heater, air conditioner, hot water tank, or any of the above mentioned serviced, Weiss Johnson is the place to go. I've used them for multiple jobs around my house. Had a air conditioner put in last summer. It was awesome. Had a garage heater put in this year. Spectacular. The crews are really good guys too, guys and gals. They came by and had a little chat in the garage while they were installing. Good guys. Like the crew over at Weiss Johnson. Give them a call, 780-463-3096.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
Hey, EM Storm says, you have a nice office, Ryan. You've inspired me to do something similar in my house one day.
Really?
Love the blue lighting, the globe, and that little Stanley Cup. Where's the cup? Over there.
That's thoughtful.
There you can see it. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Because I've raised the desk up, you can't. I'm going to tilt my camera up even a little more. So that stuff's not supposed to be in the shot. So I'll take you on a tour here. So this stuff up here, because I use this set for TSN when I do my hits on TSN from home as well. So I have like the serious shelves here, like the globe, and like I read many books. And I have like the Stanley Cup, little radio over here. Up here is never seen on TSN. So up here, I don't know if you can see this, Struds. You'll love this one. This is a Fred Penner lunchbox.
Classy.
That I've got up there. And then just some other equipment and stuff and a couple of awards. I've got a Darth Vader helmet right there. And up in this corner, can you see Chewbacca up in this corner?
I see him.
So those are the shelves that are for the podcast only. Those will never make it. They'll never make it onto TSN. But yeah, so yours will be looking good tomorrow too, Struddy. We'll get it up to speed. What else you got there in the mentions, bud?
At Todd_Fisher. Guys, what's more impressive? If McDavid gets to 65 goals or 150 points? What do you say?
Okay, say that again. 65. What will be more impressive?
What would be more impressive? McDavid's 65 goals or 150 points? Whichever one he gets to. Or let's say he gets to both.
I mean, 65 goals would be pretty incredible just because that level of goal scoring for him to suddenly pop to that degree would be pretty incredible. So I would probably say the 65 goals. And by the way, I think he may finish ahead of that. I think he'll get more than 65, don't you?
Anything north of 65 goals is mind blowing.
Crazy.
And again, I'll go where I started this whole thing. It's the timing. Like he's not getting the old, Jason Strudwick 6-2 goal in a 5-2 game. You know what I mean?
He's scoring unreal. His timing is unreal.
That's such a kick in the nuts, right? So you're sitting on the Buffalo Sabres bench. You just tie it up early. I think that was early in the period, right? And then all of a sudden, this guy comes out and just kicks you right in the nuts to make it 3-2. Like the most offensive player in the world gets it done. And you're like, God, we just got it. Like we just got back in this thing, right? And I'm not saying they're deflated, but you're like, what do we have to do? And then if he doesn't score, you got Leon. If he doesn't score, you got Nuge. If he doesn't score, you got Kane. If he doesn't score, you got Hyman. It's just like there's a lot to skate through there, right? And I think I'm excited to see when this team gets Kane back. Where he's at and how everyone's thoughts. Because again, another good player, whether it's Fogle or started out as McLeod tonight, they get pushed down the lineup. So that makes your third, fourth line stronger because everyone gets bumped down.
Completely agree. Evander Kane is such a difference maker. By the way, I got to go back over here and grab this. Everyone on the stream is helping me out. I completely screwed that up. That is not Fred Penner. That's Bob Ross, the painter.
I know. I know you said that. I'm trying. I try to be a classy co-host and not get into
it. Buddy. If you did something like that, I'd murder you.
I know, but I don't sweat the small details, right?
The funny thing is, though, is the quote that's on the lunchbox says, "We don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents." So that was a happy little accident that I made calling him Fred Penner.
I know. I try to look past it.
Wow. I like it when Connor McDavid kicks the other team in the pills. Yep, says Tyler Schleeke. They mentioned on the telecast that 97 has more 4-point games than no-point games. That's just ridiculous. That's insane.
You know what? Someone, I don't know who it was. I think it was Gregor today, said that McDavid has 103 3-point games in his NHL career. So I think tonight's 104. Whatever the number is, it's over 100, and that is just mind blowing to have that many 3-point games. And he makes it look so easy, unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable.
Little nugget here. I believe it's going to go tomorrow, but keep an eye on TSN tomorrow because we've had a production feature in the works on Connor McDavid and his evolution as a goal scorer. Something we've been working on for the better part of a few weeks here. We're going to deep dive into how he's doing it, maybe why he's doing it, and we'll examine some of the finer details of his goal scoring this year, dive into the numbers and show you the way he's scoring goals. It's not rocket surgery, to quote a player who shall go unnamed. It's not rocket surgery, but bottom line, Struds, he's got more of a willingness to take it to the middle of the ice and shoot through traffic. He's doing it a ton this year. The other thing he's doing is he is more than twice as likely to shoot on a 2-on-1 than he was a couple of years ago. What we are seeing in Connor McDavid, and this is what this piece drives at tomorrow, we've seen him develop a shooter's instinct where a pure passer, like think about how much he passed early on in his career. The shooter's instinct that is developed in him, it's unreal. We've seen it develop kind of in real time over the course of a couple of seasons. He absolutely thinks the game like a sniper now, but is also still a brilliant puck distributor.
Yeah, so here it is as a D-man. I can tell you this, is that, you always kind of try to get a book on someone. Is he a passer? Is he a shooter? So for a number of years, you're playing against Connor, and he's been a passer. So you're, okay, I'm going to try to, look to take that pass away. And now he's shooting it. And so now you're like, okay, well, do I take the pass away or the shot? So you really have no idea. And so you're guessing, and generally speaking, you want the goalie to say, give me the shot, give me the shot. So now you're giving the shot and he's scoring on the shot. You're like, you're supposed to stop some of those, but here it is. It's Connor McDavid. So that's the challenge, right? For a goalie D-man combo when it's a 2-on-1.
100%. He even admitted, like early in his career, he was a lock to shoot.
Yeah.
To pass on a 2-on-1. Yeah. And now that instinct is completely changed. And he says they defend him different now than when he first came into the league too. I think conventional wisdom on how to defend a 2-on-1 has maybe been adjusted, Struds. Do you notice it being defended differently? Got to take the pass away.
Yeah, well, that's the goal, is to give the goalie a shot. They'd rather face a shot and have a chance to save that than a backdoor tap in, right? That's the general idea. But I honestly think if I'm a 2-on-1 with him, maybe I jump him, right? And go at him and make him pass it. But the problem is that he's going to read that and dangle you. So it's like, It's just a mess. The whole thing is just a mess defending against this guy.
Just a bad proposition. What did you think of 12-6? I liked it.
Well, I mean, it's pretty impressive. You look at the minutes played. Vinny Darnay got up there again, leading the team in penalty killing minutes. There's a trend there. One game, I had the most penalty kill minutes. But you start doing it. No, I think is it 2 out of 3 or 2 in a row? I have to go back and look. But anyways, it is smoother, and I think for the D-men you get more ice time, so you feel like you're more into it. So I honestly, I loved it when I used to get around 15, 16 minutes. That's great. I'm happy with that. You play 8 or 9, that's a little bit less. So yeah, here he is, Vinny
16-10. Yep.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. I would think that'd be as high. Don't quote me on that, but that seems like that's quite a bit if you're getting to 7 guys. I might be wrong, but I liked it. And up front, it kind of gives every line a chance to get out there and give them identity. I thought the fourth line for the Oilers actually had a really good night tonight.
Yeah, I do too. I thought they looked good. I like Bukestad has looked good. He's skated really well. I like the way he protects the puck. I like his ranginess. How about that? Was it on the penalty kill? He made that play where he looked like about 15 feet to knock the puck down the ice. Like there's just something about a guy that occupies that much space. He's just naturally going to be more difficult to work in and around.
Well, let's think about this. So you got a penalty kill that has added in the last, let's just call it 2 months, a 6'6" guy, a 6'4" guy on defense, 2 of those, and then a 6, I don't know what his Buke's at, 6'5". So how much longer, how much more space they take? No disrespect to Yamamoto, but as a smaller player, he doesn't take up a lot of space out there, right? So it does. There's less room. You're taking up more space. You got more stuff going on. So it does make a difference. It crowds everybody, and everyone just feels a little bit more uncomfortable out there.
Ryan says the RNH goal was really nice. Too bad it was offside. If only Yamo had a bit longer legs. How do you view those offsides? Like, I don't know. Is it completely on the player to make sure that he delays properly, and it's all on him? Like, it is. I mean, you need to make sure if you don't have the puck, right?
Yeah. Now, sometimes you can It's a little bit of gray. And if I'm skating, you and I are going up the ice, and you're skating full blast, and then before the blue line cut one way or the other, and you go offside, that's a different situation. The puck carrier's job is to get the puck over the blue line, then you can make that cut, right? But I'm just going to say this. I'm glad you brought that up. I hate the offside rule. That offside had nothing to do with that goal. And this isn't a homer. If it had gone the other way, I'd say the same thing. I would say the exact same thing, but we got to get it right. Everyone, we have to make sure we get it right. I don't think that's the intention of the rule. I know it matters, but whatever. It'll never go away, so why complain?
Mike D weighs in. I almost feel bad. I forgot JP was ever on this team. There was no misstep when he was moved out. Things just seemed to fall into place. Okay, Mike. Prepare to be piled on, Mike. Go ahead and tweet that if you want. I dare you.
We don't need to kick that guy in the nuts.
No, not at all. Not at all. And you know what? He's going to get playing some games here this week. And hopefully he steps into that lineup and can find some confidence and make a little bit of a contribution. But to the point, though, here, I think the Oilers, when you look at the options they had available to them and the way all those guys played, going with 12 forwards, like the reason they've gone 11-7 is it's because, frankly, they had 7 better defensemen than they had 12 forwards.
Right.
You had more quality players in the lineup when you played 7 defensemen. But they've got enough guys playing well right now, even with Evander Kane out, that it made sense to have all those guys in the lineup. And I like the way the synergy settled down. 3 pairs, rolled them out. You talked about Desharnais. I don't know, man. I might come back with 12-6 again.
Oh, I'm coming back with that. Now, the challenge is that, as I mentioned, when you got to try to keep guys fresh, though, and not fresh, in the game. You can't let Broberg sit forever, right? So that means that when Broberg comes back, or gets back in, who do you pull out? Probably.
Well, how's he getting in?
But here's the problem. So do you pull out Desharnais? He's becoming a pretty
you don't
important penalty killer,
and he plays the other side.
Right. So then we agree. You go to 7, but then you have got to take out that many forwards because Kane's going to be back here right away, right? Yeah. So this becomes a real challenge, and at times we're going to be sitting here doing this pod, and we're going to say, why are they doing this? Why are they taking this guy out? Why are they going 11-7, or why are they going 12-6? It's because they need players to play. You can't just sit a guy for 25 games and say, oh, there's an injury. Okay, Ryan Rishaug, you got to get in there and play. It doesn't work like that. They need to see guys involved. So I bet you within 10 days, you're going to hear from Jay Woodcroft saying, we got to keep guys up and running. We got to keep guys up and running. And that's his code, is saying guys can't sit forever.
11-7. I don't know, man. Yeah, to go back to 11-7. If they go 12-6 again and Desharnais plays well again, and the forwards continue to hold up their end, I mean, they have the option, right? So to get Broberg in every third game or something like that, I do wonder if at a certain point there isn't a swap from the American Hockey League where you get Broberg down and get him playing every night, big minutes, and bring him back for the playoffs. And then you bring in somebody else that can kind of be with the group.
100%. Because you look at it, man, when Kane comes back, and if they go to 11-7, 2 forwards have to come out.
Yeah.
2 forwards.
Yeah.
So who deserves to come out? That fourth line played really well tonight. If I had to walk in that room and say, sorry, whomever, you're out.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're going 11-7. Oh, that's
it
not
ain't
fair.
Shore. Like Shore is earning his place at the table with the way he's played.
Tonight.
Derek Ryan scores a goal. Bukestad's good. Costin was hitting. Fogle played well. McLeod.
Take him out. But this is what you want. So this is what you want. This is what the Oilers want. They want a depth. They finally have it.
Do you see Dylan Holloway in the lineup for the playoffs? Asks Jordan Cole.
I think he's always an option. Yeah.
Yeah. He needs to get healthy.
Yeah, he's got to get in and play. And then, yes, I think he's another depth piece that can come in and help.
Yeah.
Because this game, I think, translates to the playoffs.
Mike D says Janmark. I assume he means that's who potentially could come out. Yeah, he's on the list.
Maybe. He's on the list. He's in the group. He's in that group of players that are unfortunately going to get kicked in the nuts, man. Yeah. It's not fair. All
right, Struds. Great stuff tonight, my friend. I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. I'll have my Bob the Builder tool belt on.
Love it.
And we'll
hashtag too sexy.
Yes, we'll revamp that office and we'll get her up to speed. I'll see you first thing in the morning. Great job tonight, my friend.
Can't wait. Bonne nuit.
By the way, how's that show? How many episodes are you into? What is it? By the way, what's the name of it again?
Good. Daisy Jones and the Six. It's sick.
Okay.
It's so good.
So it's so good. So I told Randine about our funny little exchange on the podcast, how Strud said he was watching this show, and how I started laughing at you and said, it's one of those. And you were like, no, it's not. She said, yeah, it is, Rye. It's one of those.
She just lost her credibility. I knew it. I knew it. It only took one comment. Now I know Randine.
You now know her. All right. I'll give it one episode just because maybe I can make fun of you more after I see it.
You'll be hooked, man. I won't apologize for hooking you up.
All right. Sounds good. Have a great night, my friend.
See you, buddy.
That is Jason Strudwick, and that'll wrap up the live stream tonight. Thanks so much for your participation here on Twitter and on YouTube. Love getting your thoughts, sparring a little bit with you. Always tons of fun. Huge thanks to our fantastic sponsors, Mid-City Construction Management, Inc., Weiss Johnson, and, of course, the Horses, Horse Racing Alberta. Oilers with a couple of days to take a break here. LeBron and I are going to be back with another podcast, I believe, on Wednesday this week. So that is Got Your Back NHL edition with Pierre LeBrun and I. Mike Johnson might be along for that one as well. So check out our YouTube feed and check out our Twitter feed as well. And stay up to speed with everything that we're dropping this week. And then, of course, plenty of Got Your Back still to come this week. Have a fantastic finish to your night, folks. Cheers. Thanks for joining us.